Hello and welcome to the Best of Buckeye. I'm Superintendent Brian Williams, and we're here with a wonderful group this morning. As you can see, a little bigger group than we're used to having, but we made it work. So welcome everybody. Glad you're all here. Why don't we start and introduce Mr. Pitek, because you are in charge of this whole group.
Right. We're the Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Okay.
We meet every Thursday morning, 6:45. Obviously, when school's open, and we just have a great group of kids that come and for fellowship and for encouragement. And it's a national organization. It's in several high schools throughout the United States. And again, we are pretty much a non-denominational group. We don't particularly cater to one religious group or the other, so very open with that.
So all are welcome.
All are welcome.
Okay, very good. Well, why don't we start, just so we have an idea of who we're talking to. Can we start right on my right? Can you introduce yourself and what grade you're in?
I'm Elizabeth Kitsuday, and I am in 11th grade.
Okay.
I'm Maggie Caleb, and I'm also in 11th grade.
I'm Vinny Galizio. I'm a senior.
I'm Michael Dirty. I'm a freshman.
All right, so we have almost every grade represented here.
Right.
Very good. Well, Elizabeth, obviously, as Mr. Pitek said, you have to get up awfully early to be a part of this group. Can you tell me about the meetings, and what do you guys generally do at a meeting?
Usually when we get there early in the morning, we meet in the library, and we usually just talk for a little bit until everyone arrives, and then Mr. Pitek will tell us if we have any announcements or anything we should know about. And then we'll have, sometimes it's Mr. Pitek, sometimes it's another student who will teach for that day, and they'll just talk about a certain subject or something that they feel is pertinent. And then we'll usually take any prayer requests and then pray for those. And that's about it.
Wonderful. Maggie, what's the draw? Because you guys have quite a few students that show up every week.
We get food, so that's a bonus.
That helps.
We have really two good leaders that are always there for us, and the group of kids is just phenomenal. We can talk about anything, pray about anything, and we know we always have that tight-knit group always behind our back. So
Good. Vinny, what do you think from your perspective is one thing that you enjoy most about FCA?
One thing I enjoy, I'd say I really like just coming there and everyone wanting to just learn and be taught about the Lord and His ways, and just being able to see from a different perspective, maybe something you couldn't see before. And it's just really a great thing, and I love going there, and it's a bunch of great people, and Mr. Pitek here does a great job teaching us.
I paid them.
It's all about leadership. It's all about leadership. Mike, can you tell us about how many kids go on average? And what about for you personally? Is there something that you really enjoy about going?
Well, we have donuts every morning, so that's definitely a plus. But we have a good 30-some kids that go every day on average. But yeah, it's a good group of kids, and I just love going there and learning about the Lord and just basically what Vinny said. But I just like the people there, and again, he does a good job. It's always
You owe some money this morning.
I did. I paid a lot, but
Mr. Pitek, maybe you can talk about that. I mean, obviously, any good organization does have a good leader, and we appreciate what you do for our school and our kids. Can you talk? They've talked a little bit about what goes on and what they do, but from a philosophical standpoint, what is the reason that you wanted to be involved with this?
well, again, with your Christian faith, I think it's important. The Bible tells us that if you deny me before men, I'll deny you before my Father. And the Bible also tells us to not be ashamed of the gospel of Christ. And what's encouraging for me, these guys think they're getting something out of it. What I get out of it is to see these students who aren't ashamed of the gospel, who aren't ashamed of their testimony, and they come willingly. A lot of times, like at churches and things like that, the kids come because their parents make them, or it's just a tradition. This is something that when the kids come, it's through a willing heart, and that's encouraging for me. But philosophically, we try to, we try to basically stick to the basic doctrine of God's Word. We don't try to get into different philosophical things. What we believe, that there's one God, there's one Savior, and that He died and rose again for us. And I think having a group of kids that can get together and encourage each other and uplift each other, I think that's the main part of it, the main portion of it. Because let's face it, a lot of what teenagers are going through these days, stuff we've never even faced, it's difficult for them. And I look at this as an encouragement for them, or an uplifting experience for them, to tell them that, we have a God that cares about us. We have a God that, wants to fellowship with us. And life can be bad, but we have somewhere to turn to. We have the answer. And it's important that we get it out there. So that's basically our philosophy.
Now, it is Fellowship of Christian Athletes, but if somebody's not an athlete, can they be involved and come to your meetings?
Well, in Mr. Durkee's case, we let him come. No. The national organization is Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We have kind of an open policy. We've had band members, we've had academic challenge people. It really, we don't like to limit to who can come, because most of us are athletes. Mm-hmm. Whether it's working or whatever, you're doing something athletic. So that's our kind of our little thing. But for the most part, I do believe that the kids that come are most of them are athletes.
Somebody out there may be saying, this is a public school. How can you do this? How can you allow this to happen? But the reality is that Fellowship of Christian Athletes is a national organization, nationally recognized, and they are recognized as an organization by the school. But we just provide the space. It's completely voluntary. We can't say what anybody could gather for or against. So the school is really just providing the space,
right.
Not endorsing religion, not saying that anybody would have to go or doesn't have to go, but it's completely voluntary, and the school is just providing space for this organization to meet.
Right. And the precedent has been set. As long as you allow any organization to meet, you must allow the Fellowship of Christian Athletes to meet. And again, we try to hopefully, when we meet in the library, we leave it better than we found it, kind of philosophy, so that we aren't being a bad testimony or a bad example. So yeah, it's a great organization. I've been doing it now for, I think this is my 6th or 7th year, and we've varied in attendance and things, but the last couple of years it's been great. I enjoy, as Elizabeth referred to, I enjoy when the kids teach, because I get a lot out of that from their perspective. I'm just an old guy who's been out of high school a while, so I don't see a lot of stuff they're going through. So, but we enjoy it.
Elizabeth, you guys talked about your meetings. You meet weekly. Are there other activities that you do besides the meetings?
Well, we do some volunteer opportunities. I know today we discussed an opportunity that we can do to help someone. Last year we sold Buckeye Blitz cards, and then we went whitewater rafting.
Wow.
So we just try and we have a few bonfires and stuff in the summer too that we try and get together.
Maggie, if somebody out there was thinking, maybe this is something that I'd want to do, what might you say to them about joining this group? Would you encourage them to do that?
Yeah, I would say come and try it out, see if you like it. There's a wide variety of students that they can talk to and share with, and if they like it, they can stay. If not, it's okay. I mean, we're an open group, and we let anyone come in. So
good. Jenny, you guys, if I recall, and if I'm wrong, correct me. Did you not just compete in a competition recently?
We did.
Yeah.
Did you compete with that?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us about that?
It's our all-star. This is the reason we won. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's we call it the Huddle Challenge, and a bunch of schools come together in a central location, and we do different types of athletic competitions. Like we do volleyball and
Tug of war.
tug of war. We did flicker ball, monkey ball. It's just a really great time, and it's nice to get together and participate in a great event with different athletes from other schools.
Now, Michael, did you get to participate in that?
I didn't. I had something planned that weekend.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. Now, I know that Mr. Pitek gets very competitive, and I know you really have to be careful and rein him in sometimes.
Yeah.
But if I recall, who won that competition?
We did.
Buckeye.
I heard that rumor.
Yes.
And how many schools were there competing?
I believe it was 14.
So out of 14 schools that have a
14
FCA organization,
Yes.
Buckeye came in first place.
By a landslide. Close, I hate to say. Probably because Mr. Dirty wasn't there. No,
Better off.
it would have been even worse.
Uh-huh.
A trouncing.
So, Mike, as a freshman, obviously sometimes freshmen are a little bit, kind of shy and may not always get involved. But what might you tell your fellow classmates that are freshmen that in any organization are really the future of our programs, because you're going to be around for a few years? What might you say to other freshmen that maybe are thinking about getting involved?
The group isn't scary. The seniors there don't beat us up or anything.
Phew!
There's no
That's good to
locker
know.
stuffing or anything. But the kids there are nice, and the seniors and the leaders there really lead you and can help you with things that you're having trouble with in school, and they're just, nicer to you in general.
Yeah. But then again, you hear so often that, I guess the cliche, if you want to get better results is put God back in school. But this is one way for our students to maybe show a little bit of their faith and be able to express that, somewhat in a non-school setting, but it is really a school setting because it's at our school and our students are the ones that are involved. And this is a group that really kind of lives that motto that, we're not afraid to express our faith. Would you guys say that's accurate?
Sure. Sure. You don't want to be to the point where you're obnoxious or overbearing, but you don't want to also be at the point where you're not. That somebody looks at you, they should notice that you're different.
Mm-hmm.
They should notice that, hey, they don't do those things that we call them sin. And are we perfect? No, not by any means, and we don't claim to be perfect. But we do have forgiveness through Christ, and again, these young people, I'm so proud of them because of the fact I know when I was in high school, I would have had a very difficult time expressing my faith or just being a testimony.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys do such a great job with that, and they prove that you don't have to do certain things to be cool. You don't have to hang out in certain groups to be accepted. And that's what I like to see. That they do what they know is right, and they don't have to follow the crowd to be accepted.
Well, I think you're right. It's not necessarily being obnoxious with your faith,
Right.
but it's living the way a higher power would want us to live, I guess.
Right.
When we talk about all the things that are wrong in the world potentially, in our world, we worry about kids getting bullied and things like that and the pressures that are on kids. But do you guys think that being a part of this group helps you to avoid some of those? I mean, I would have guessed that, there's nobody in your group. And again, like you said, no, we're not perfect.
No.
But I hope that being a part of this group would encourage kids to support others, support everybody. It's not about, like you said, being in a clique. It's about supporting everybody. And, it's not about bullying other kids or being mean to other kids. It's about being accepting. And this maybe is a group that is accepting of everybody and encourages kids not to get involved in those behaviors.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I hope other kids will consider doing this. And
Sure.
for parents out there, if they're looking for a group at Buckeye High School for their son or daughter to get involved with, this is a great one. Can you say again when you meet?
Thursday mornings, 6:45. I know it's early, but we liven you up, we wake you up, and if you need a ride, let us know. We have students that probably live in your neighborhood that can give you a ride, or I myself or my wife, we'll do that. And I gotta get a plug in for my wife.
Yeah, please.
She helps me. She's not here this morning
Mhm.
because she teaches. But I think where FCA really started to grow is when my wife got involved, because she does such a great job with the young ladies, and I appreciate her for that. And she's a good example to follow, a good testimony. So I think that helps. But you know, again,
And I heard-
it's not us. You know, it's the kids. They've really taken this thing under their belt and run with it. So that's,
And I heard donuts.
we do. That's her job. She brings donuts. Sometimes she'll bring something different, but yeah, that's, you know, teenagers. That's one way to get them to come
Everybody
somewhere.
makes a
to
donut
provide
once a
food.
week.
Right.
And they're athletes, so they're running them off.
Exactly.
Right?
They burn it right off. So
Can we talk about, maybe can you guys go around and just talk about either what, if there are groups you're involved other than this, what groups you're involved with, and maybe if you have, what your, maybe your thoughts are for the future, if you've thought about what you might do, especially you guys that are seniors.
Well, I'm a varsity cheerleader for both football and basketball. I'm in student council, project care, students against destructive decisions. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Freshman mentors.
That's great.
NHS. I have no idea what I want to do or where I want to go.
That's okay.
I am a varsity volleyball, basketball, and softball player. I want to be a teacher when I'm older, and I'm a part of a ton of groups, all of Liz Kissinger's. I'm happy to be in charge of students against destructive decisions. I think that's about it. My FCA, I love FCA. So.
Well, we hope that you'll consider coming back and being a teacher in Buckeye one day.
I want to be. So.
Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Vinny?
I'm a varsity baseball player, and this is my senior year, and next year I plan to continue my baseball career at Otterbein University out in Westerville, so I'm really excited for that, and it'll be a great time.
If you can ever get outside and play baseball this year.
Right, yes.
Here on March 27th, and we've got snow on the ground.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Michael?
I played JV football, run track this year. I'm in student council. I'm the freshman class president. I'm in FCA, and other than that, I don't do a ton.
And you just want to make it through high school.
Definitely.
You're probably not thinking about your future
I
yet.
didn't know it.
Your future is sophomore year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Pitek, do you know what you want to do when you grow up?
I'd like to be a superintendent.
Oh, there you go. All right.
It's easy.
Excellent. It's a great job.
Is it?
You're in the right place, and this is a great place to be in. So, as far as your overall experience at Buckeye, has that been a good experience for you guys? And we certainly hope to think that you guys have gotten a good education and have had a good experience in Buckeye. We pride ourselves on that. Absolutely.
Yep.
Very good. Mr. Pitek, anything else we need to say? What are we missing today? Anything?
I don't think I could add anything to that.
Well, being almost 8 o'clock, this is really late for you guys because you've probably been up for about 3 hours now since you held a meeting this morning. It's almost lunchtime. So, well, thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate this. It's a wonderful organization, and we would encourage any of our other students to consider getting involved. And again, from a parental standpoint that might be watching, I encourage your kids to consider being a part of FCA. See Mr. Pitek or any one of these guys sitting here can give you information. But again, just another wonderful example of a group at Buckeye High School that is doing the right thing and making good decisions and helping their fellow student. And really that's what we're all here for, is to help others, to try to contribute in some way positively to our school and really our world. So thank you guys for doing that. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, this has been Brian Williams for the Best of Buckeye. Want to thank you for tuning in today, and look for other shows in the near future with great kids like we have sitting here. Thanks for allowing us to do what we do here in Buckeye, and we appreciate your support. Have a great day.